No, but you didn't even ask me any questions though.
I'm gonna ask. Okay, I'm gonna ask you. I'm gonna ask you as well, Terrell. Did you even hear the audio, Terrell?
No.
Marty, what's up, brother? Terrell, I'm gonna ask you after Marty. Ladies and gentlemen, this is my business partner, Marty up here. I'm gonna play him the audio, and then I have four questions that I want to ask you, Marty. And then we can open this up for dialogue. Matter of fact, I might just have you and Terrell go at the same time. Honestly, let me find the audio here. One second. So yeah, to the woman, do not get mad and be bitter in the comments. Okay, I just told you what it was gonna be before it happened. So, let's go ahead and play this audio. Guy flies me out, and we go shopping, and I'm flued out. I'm getting flued out, and I'm comfortable enough to go out of town with him and stay with him. Bitch, I'm getting fucked. And I'm sucking some dick. I don't give a fuck who what y'all think. That's a date. That is a vacation. Like, nobody wanna fly you out, just be around your little stink ass. Like, who the fuck do you think you is, bitch? Don't get flued out if you don't wanna suck no dick. I personally love to suck dick, and I'm going out of town. And for them 3 days, that's my man for them 3 days. That's my boyfriend. And then, bitch, I'm going home. I might not fuck you no more, but bitch, you're my man for the 3 days. We're fucking and I'm sucking. And that's that. Period. My ass is going. Come on. Guy flies me out. Mario, were you able to hear that? You're muted, Marty. Were you able to hear it?
No, I wasn't able to hear it.
Okay, I'll play it
No,
again.
I
I'll play
wasn't
it
able
again.
to hear it because I was my bad.
No problem. I'll play it again. Guy flies me
Hold
out.
on, I'm getting a
We go
major
shopping.
echo.
Oh, okay. Drop it. Come back. Drop it. Come back. She understands the assignment. Yeah, she does understand the assignment, Bam. Absolutely, she does. You still got the echo?
I'm good now.
Okay. All right. Let me play it again.
Yep.
Guy flies me out, and we go shopping, and I'm flued out. I'm getting flued out, and I'm comfortable enough to go out of town with him and stay with him. Bitch, I'm getting fucked. And I'm sucking some dick. I don't give a fuck who what y'all think. That's a date. That is a vacation. Like, nobody wanna fly you out, just be around your little stink ass. Like, who the fuck do you think you is, bitch? Don't get flued out if you don't wanna suck no dick. I personally love to suck dick, and I'm going out of town. And for them 3 days, that's my man for them 3 days. That's my boyfriend. And then, bitch, I'm going home. I might not fuck you no more, but bitch, you're my man for the 3 days. We're fucking and I'm sucking. And that's that. Period. My ass is going. All right, Marty. So I have four questions that I want to ask you. The first question is it a man's responsibility to make it explicitly known that he wants sexual favors from a woman before flying her out in 2022? What do you think about that?
I think in this environment, yeah, absolutely. Unfortunately, yeah, I think that in this environment, like what there was a saying which was, "What's known doesn't need to be said,"
What's
or "What's
understood doesn't
understood."
need to be said.
Yeah, what's understood doesn't need to be said, but that's not the way women move. Women, in my opinion, weaponize victim status. They weaponize femininity. They weaponize womanhood. They weaponize ignorance. They do all of these things to try to extract as much resources from men as they possibly can. Now, this isn't all women, but this is a lot of women. You know, you'll have women who go out on a date with you and they'll pretend to like you until the bill comes and then they got to go home. You got women who meet you at a bar and they'll pretend to like you until the bill comes and then they go home. So this is something that women are taught that is fine for them to do. It's okay because men are not really looked at by women as people. Men are a utility and that's why they don't care about our emotions, our feelings. You know, you'll hear women say, "Oh, well, you know, you should open up more. You should be more vulnerable." But any man like in the world knows that when you're vulnerable with most women, they're going to A, lose respect for you, and or B, lose sexual attraction for you, and or C, they are going to weaponize against you at a later date. So this is what all men are experiencing. And then what do women do when you tell them this? They gaslight you. They say, "Oh, well, that's just the women you've been dealing with," as if all the men aren't saying the same thing all at the same time about doing the same thing. So it's kind of like, you know, it's kind of like white people telling you that like racism doesn't exist. You know what I'm saying? When you know every black person you know is experiencing racism, and then you're like, well, it doesn't really exist. That's just a you problem. You know, you getting on these white folks' nerves. So this is the way women kind of view the world, because they're allowed to talk to everybody with no accountability. When you talk to a woman, she's able to weaponize ignorance, or she's able to make it such a small individual experience. Or I don't do that. I don't. Any woman who says I don't do that is having a disingenuous conversation with you. She knows what you're talking about, and she knows that most women do it. But what she's going to do instead is, as she sees fit, when you're having a conversation about the group in general, she's going to then shrink the conversation to this microscopic personal level so that she can deflect any level of accountability. And so, yes, you absolutely must tell a woman, like, hey, I can't wait to see you, this, that, and the third. When I see you, I can't wait to touch you. I want to do all this stuff to you, blah, 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 blah. And if she's disagreeable or standoffish about it, then fly her out at your own risk. I've flown girls out. I've never had a woman that I've flown out not let me smash. I just don't play that shit. I make sure that we are in agreement and in a state of understanding up front. I don't do it in a way, when I was flying girls out, which I don't anymore. But when I was in that, doing that, I didn't do it in a way that was vulgar or diminishing or disrespectful to the woman. But we was clear that, you was gobbling some dicks up when you got out here. Like, it was no confusion about that fact.
Peace, Mr. Alex. So Mari, this is my thing. So, the woman, these women that get flown out or whatever, that participate in this lifestyle, they or just what I was saying when I was talking to the woman earlier that said that a man should make it explicitly known even in 2022. So Marty, these same women don't need the man to inform them that he's going to pay for the flight. They don't need the man to inform them that he's going to pay for her lodging while she's there. He's going to pay for her transportation. Wherever he takes her in the city to whatever activities they do, he's going to fund all of that. The nightlife, whatever cover charges it may be, drinks, he is going to fund all of that while she is there. And he doesn't need
Right.
to explicitly specify any of that to her. But for
It's not
whatever
fair,
reason,
Noble. World ain't fair, man.
he needs to explicitly specify that he wants some cheeks, right? So
Yes.
Marty, put it like this. I'm supposed to spend $800, $900 to put you on this Delta Comfort flight, fly you in, whether I have you stay with me or whether I put you in a hotel, that's going to be more money. I'm probably going to be spending upwards of somewhere between $2,000 and $3,000 just to be with you for these 3-4 days. But you're not expecting to give anything up in return. You just think because you're a woman and because you're the specific woman that you are, that I want to fly you out to be in my presence so I can see how you smell and walk around my city with you. Make that make sense to me, Marty.
It doesn't make sense, but I'd say the same thing to the men that I say to the women. Pick better. Like there are women who understand the assignment. There are women where if you come to a state of understanding, they can make an adult agreement to come out and have a good time and to do some shopping and some eating and some fucking and then go home. But if you this is something I teach in sales, okay? You do not deserve what you don't have the courage to ask for. If you can't be clear about what you want up front, then that is part of the reason you are not getting it. And that is part of the reason you don't even deserve it. So you have to have the balls to say what you want and to say, hey, I can't wait to see you. Girl, when I get you over, I'm not going to be able to keep my hands off of you. What do you plan on doing? What's the first thing you can't wait to do with me? Blah, 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 blah. And if she's being ridiculous about it, then I'd just be straight up and I'd be like, listen, when you come out here, like I'm expecting that, you and I are going to be exploring some intimacy. Is that not what you're thinking? Oh no, yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Okay, cool. Well, I can't wait to see you then. I want to see what that feel like. Blah, blah, blah. If a woman can't stand you talking to her like that and that's disrespectful, but y'all ain't seen each other and you flying her out, and she don't plan on giving you no cheeks, or if she does and she's too coy to be upfront with you about that, then exit stage left, because it's a probability game. There is no silver bullet. There is no 100% anything, and you want to go with the highest probability of success. if you are planning on making that type of investment in the hopes of being intimate with a woman that doesn't live in your city or state.
All right.
Period.
So, second question: are women that let a man fly them out, knowing they don't want to have sex with him, or it's that time of the month, acting in good faith?
Hell no. Most women don't act in good faith towards men at all, ever. Men need to accept that. It's not a woman's job to act in good faith with you, right? And that's not because all men are honest. Men ain't honest either. The same man that wants to grape you or SA you or DV you or victimize you, he sounds exactly like the same man that wants to love you for the rest of your life and have children with you. All is fair in love and war. It's a fucking savage garden. And that's why you do things that are smart, that have a high probability of success. And even when you do that, sometimes you lose. You know, there are women who waited for the right guy, did all the right things, listened to the right song from that man, married him, and got fucked. Right? That happens to women. There are men who did the right thing, built their value, chose a good woman, and then she fucked her trainer. It happens, you know. So you got to make high probability intelligent moves. Now, women are far more detached from the reality of their actions than men are, because when a woman is stupid, they blame that on the man for taking advantage. When a man is stupid, they say, you're stupid, man. Why would you go along with that? You should have known better. You know, and that's just the way of the world. So if you are dealing with a woman that is going to scam you, then there's nothing you can do to stop her from scamming you except, you know, get rid of her ass up front. And if she's good at scamming you, you won't know until you get played. And then it'll be up to you to take it like a champ so you don't end up in jail.
Okay.
It is what it is, baby. Ain't no silver bullets. You know what I'm saying? That's why I tell men, you got to pay for dates, bro. You know, and they're like, well, do these girls could be hustling me? Yes, bro. That is the risk involved with sitting down at the table of women. And it's all good because as men, in the end, we win. All men win in the end because women age out of the game. And if they didn't make any smart decisions, then they're still sitting at the table broke. But as a guy, you're playing you got an investment portfolio that's performing over time. For women, they're sitting at a damn gambler's table. So we're playing two different games. And that's, you know, I was having this conversation with my girlfriend this morning. Men and women are very confused about sex because the dominant narratives pertaining to relationships are all based on a female perspective because that's what sells. If you were telling a love story from the male's perspective, it would look totally different. It would be a documentary, not a love story, and nobody would want to watch the shit. Because as a guy, you're sitting up cold approaching 400 girls to get, you know, 5 of them to give you the time of day. You're going out on dates and burning through money with girls who ghost you and don't call you back. You're talking to girls who dismiss you that you had a good connection with because your belt doesn't match your shoes, right? These are things. And then when you actually do build your value as a man and you got your money right and you drive in a nice car and you get your teeth whitened, right? And you've worked on your body. Now you're talking to 6 different girls at the same time. 3 of them or 4 of them you clapping, 2 of them you want to clap, and you're figuring out which one of them is trying to do more than bend over and be a wet hole for you. And then the one that's building the most value in your life is the one you select, even though she might not have the fattest ass or the biggest titties. If you're a smart man and you're moving through your life towards trying to find your wife, your dating story looks more like that than it does what women get. Because women have like a 90% hit ratio. If they focus their attention on a man, then they will at least get to sleep with that man, right? And they have the potential, if he's a decent man, of actually starting a relationship with him if they come in good faith. But for men, it's not like that. Men, the cold approach statistics is that you sleep with 1 out of every 600 women you talk to, the average man. Women have no understanding of what that level of rejection looks like. So that's why you tell all stories by projecting the female experience onto the man. That's the love story. And it has nothing to do with the man's reality. Zero to do with the average man's reality.
should a woman put herself in private settings with a man she doesn't want to be intimate with? And let me elaborate on that, Marty. So, these women were on here earlier. Some of these women were on here earlier telling me that, oh, the man does need to like explicitly let it be known. But my whole thing, Marty, is again, like, why should if you don't find a man physically attractive to start off with, I don't understand why a woman would get on a plane to go see a man in the first place. And
Because
Marty,
she's
if a
using
man
them.
specifically told a woman, if he specifically told a woman that when I fly you out here, you're going to be staying with me. Like, I'm not putting you in a hotel or a motel or whatever. You're going to be staying with me. You don't know this man's living situation. I think it's safe to assume that, like, when you're going to be staying with him, when it's time to go to bed, I think it's safe to assume that, he's expecting you to sleep in the same bed as him, under the same comforters as him. He's not going to send you to his guest room or some other room to go sleep or on an air mattress, correct? So if you know that you don't want to be intimate with this man, why put yourself in a situation to where you're going to be in private settings with that man to start off with? Does that make any sense to do?
It makes no sense from a man's perspective because we men do. I think a man in good faith does a better job honoring his social contracts than a woman. It's a woman's prerogative to change her mind. That's built into the way that we run our society. It ain't fair. It ain't right. If you're a guy, you take multiple L's because of this fact. But I think men need to understand how women move rather than resent it and try to correct it. You see what the game is and you play to win. So, yes, there are women who are going to try to finesse you out of money, out of trips, out of food, out of gifts. They're going to take whatever they can get from you because, in their mind, if you were stupid enough to get played, then it's your fault for letting a woman finesse you. It's no honor amongst thieves when it comes to women and mating and dating. They have this idealized version of themselves based off of the men that they actually care about, and they ignore all the shit they do with the men that they don't give a shit about, that they friend zone for years and slowly milk resources, time, attention, validation, and effort. Men showing up, moving your shit, coming over to your house, fixing things, giving you money when you're in a tight spot, telling you don't worry about it, bringing you groceries, opening up doors, carrying shit for you, getting into fights over you, beefing with other men over you. All of the shit that men do, when a woman doesn't like you like that, none of that means a goddamn thing. Because between men, we believe in equity. And it's one of the things that guys and women don't really understand. Like, women don't believe in equity. I remember when I first hit the executive tier working in corporate America, I gotten out of the worker bee status and got promoted to a managerial position. And my income went up tremendously. And so I wanted to take out my wife and my mother. And so I took them both out to Ruth Chris, and I had a limo pick us up, drive us out there. And then I bought a section for us in a club. And it wasn't like it was a club where my mom would be comfortable too. And we had drinks and stuff. And then we went down to the casino, and I gave each one of them a couple $100, and they sat at the tables and they gambled. All together, the night cost me probably about $2,700. And I'll never forget when we were at the restaurant, my ex-wife, she ordered the lamb chops, and she didn't like that they put too much rosemary on it, and she complained about that the whole fucking night. Now, if somebody spent $2,600 on me for the night, I wouldn't give a shit if there was if they served me a dead rat by accident. I would send the shit back, get the lamb chops, shut the fuck up, be happy, and give some roadhead on the way home. That would have been my move if I was a chick, but I'm a guy. And a woman will sit up and complain about the single aspect of something that she don't like when the whole rest of everything is on point. That's not all women, but it's a lot of women. They don't believe in equity. They don't look at the fact that you just did A, B, and C for them. They're looking at the fact that you didn't do D, and they cancel everything else. Janet Jackson, what have you done for me lately? So men need to understand these things and communicate these things to one another without complaining about them. Because it's not like you're going to start fucking men. So, this is what it is. And we just need to get with the reality of that fact. So if a woman comes over and she doesn't expect to sleep in the same room or clap the cheeks, I'm sorry, fellas. The name of the game is it's your fault. You didn't vet this woman out enough for her to be, a fly out, bend over baddie before you spent your bread. And that's your fault. Take your L, send her ass home, and try to learn from it. So the next one you fly out, you can make some videos with.
Okay. So Marty, I know you have two sons, and I know you have a daughter. What are your thoughts? Should women participate in this whole getting fluid out culture in general? What are
No,
your thoughts on that?
no, absolutely not. Because the thing that's very confusing to women, especially in today's society, is the type of man that will have sex with you is not the same type of man that will offer you any type of meaningful commitment. And as you continue to have sex with men who won't commit to you, you lose value to the men who would commit to you. That's a very simple dynamic most women don't understand. The high end quality of men that will actually give you a commitment. So let's say on a scale of 1 to 10, you could get a guy that's a 7. He's a 7 on the income earner scale. He makes, 75 to 115 grand a year. That man who would commit to you and give you a ring loses value for you to more 400 and 500 and $600,000 earners that you let bang your guts out with no commitment. So now you qualify for a $50,000 dude, and you still think you should be able to get the $75,000 dude, and then you're mad at the world and at men because he's judging you based off your body count. So, ladies, I'm sorry. I'm sorry the world is actively lying to you right now. But men who want wives, they care about your past in the same way an employer cares about your job history, in the same way that a creditor, before they lend you money, cares about your credit report. That your past performance when it comes to giving people access to your body matters to the man who wants to take you off the market and be the only one who has access to your body. The world is lying to you that men don't care about that because we do. And they're giving you this advice, and y'all the least married group of women in the history of the world, the modern woman is, and they're estimating that 60% of y'all by 2032 will be single and childless, will never marry and never have children in y'all entire lives. And the reality used to be that almost over 80% of women were married and had children at some point in their lives. So you guys are going for a total reversal. And the sad thing about that is 88% of women still purport to want to get married at some point in the future. And a lot of y'all are making moves that disqualify y'all for marriage, and letting men fuck on you and getting passed around by men who got bread lowers your value to everybody. And we know when you're doing it because you're posting trips of yourself flying around, and you're taking pictures of the food, you're taking pictures of yourself by yourself, your girlfriends ain't with you, and you acting like you flying out to places all on your own and just going to Ibiza or going to Tulum and shit by yourself as a one-man wrecking crew. Men don't believe that. We know that there's some 55-year-old dude with a pot belly that paid for all of that shit, that you ain't sharing the pictures that you took with him or the videos that you took of him with him hitting you from the back spot with the 5-6 inches of headbanger boogie. We know what's going down. So while you sitting up getting flown out, we still know that you doing whole shit. And men who want wives, men of character, not Pookies, not Ray Rays, not fuck boys, not Chads, men who want wives, who want to give you the commitments that you actually want. A husband, a wife, a family, some kids, work for you, live for you, die for you. That man, he cares that you letting people fuck on you and fly you out. So you are disqualifying yourself for that man. He's just looking somewhere else. And again, remember, when a man establishes his value, he doesn't act like you act. You fixate on a guy that you really, really want. And then you'll have some other dudes that pay for shit that you keep in the periphery, but you have maybe one or two guys that you really, really want. Men do not operate that way. We build our value. We look at the women who want us, and then we choose from that selection. We don't fixate on just one girl like, oh my God, I gotta have this girl. That's some Disney movie love story shit that's written from your perspective to make you sit through a movie or sit through some commercials. That's not how men think and operate at all. We don't fixate on one girl and lose our minds and shit like that. That happens in high school. That happens in grade school. When we get out into the world and we're looking at the buffet that is the world, and then when we actually get the keys to the kingdom and we can fuck on whoever we like, you're competing against all of the women that I can have sex with for a commitment. And if your attitude is, I need to do this for you and I need to do that for you, no problem. I'll do that to smash. But the woman I choose, notice that the women men choose for wives don't look as good as these other baddies and shit on Instagram. A man will rather marry a 6 that knows how to act than a 9 who thinks you need to be kissing her ass. And that's why you got all these women, they bad as hell, they in their 40s and 50s, and they still getting fucked on. Now they talking about their cougars because the only thing they can do to have a good time is fuck somebody who's young, who don't know any better. But all the men who got their shit together, who should be on their level in terms of age, the 40 and 50-year-old men, they don't deal with these women. These women are not getting married. They still getting flown out and fucked on. And that's it. So no, my daughter is not doing no flying out shit. And if she will, she'll know exactly what I think about it before she does it. She's going to live her own life, but dad's going to give her the best information possible.
And, listen, let me say something and then I'll let Terrell speak. Listen, I'm usually the one to turn Marty up, but I have to say something really quick. Listen, when Marty was talking about the, first of all, let's talk about it really quick. Listen, you women be working at McDonald's, you be working at the bakery and Sam's Club, you work at Journeys and Express and Forever 21. You know what I'm saying? You really can only shop at Fashion Nova for real. You really can only shop at H&M. But then, like Marty said, all of a sudden you pop out and you in Ibiza, you in Turks and Caicos, you got a Chanel bag all of a sudden, you got an Hermes bag all of a sudden, like he said, you at these restaurants that everyone in your city knows you can't afford to eat at. You taking pictures of the food. You in these cars in the passenger seat. You taking a picture where you showing like the L for the Lamborghini behind it or the R for the Rolls Royce. Like, men are not stupid, okay?
You hoeing and we all know
it. Men, like Marty said, men know you're with, some quote unquote high value man. Men know that you're with some high earner, like he said. You ain't none of your girlfriends in the photos. There's nobody else in the photos with you, like you said, and you're not showing the photos that you took with him. So I just need y'all, for some of y'all be thinking that like people don't peep this stuff or they don't know what's going on. Men know what's going on, okay? So I just wanted to put that on. And this is the thing that sends me. This man is doing this with a bunch of other women. Like, you're not special. Why you think after that experience you get sent right back to where you came from? You get sent back to reality. It's back to Walmart. It's back to Express. It's back to your day job. And that's what it's so like. I just want y'all to know that like men know what's going on out here, okay?
Yeah, we not fools. We know you out there hoeing, and that's your business. You just can't get a man who knows his value. Let me tell you something, ladies. You want a guy, you need a guy if you want a man that can lead a household, that can make tough decisions, that can get you through tough times and good times and bad times. You got stuff that's set up to happen in your life that's going to happen whether you like it or not, right? You got stuff that's going to happen in your life, right? Like you're guaranteed for your parents to die at some point. You're guaranteed for your grandparents to die at some point. You're guaranteed to live through some siblings passing away. You got.
Damn, Marty, you just froze. Marty dropped and come right
the
back.
Shit that life throws at you. That's a man that understands his value. And that man is not going to sit up and go for the okie doke. He's not going for the okie doke. So you act like, oh, well, what if you don't know, I could just be doing this. You don't know. We don't care.
Hold on, Marty. Marty, drop and come right back. You keep freezing. Let me tell you woman something, bro. anyone that's a regular here, you say this all the time. Let me tell you something, okay? You women, listen, especially like you women my age range that you want to be dealing with Ladarius and Davion and Keontae and DeAndre and Jamal and Tyrone and Levante and Jamonte. Listen, keep doing what you are doing, okay? But when those men dog you out and make you a single mother 3, 4, 5 times, do not think that Eric and Sam and Chuck and Earl and all these men don't think you about to come running with Peanut Head Keenan and his sister to them, and they're about to pick up, they're about to have Ladarius leftovers and all the trauma and pain that Ladarius put you through. They're not about to they're not about to pick up that slack. They're not about to put those pieces of the puzzle together. All those men that y'all consider as squares, all those men that y'all consider as lanes, they're not about to pick their listen. Earl and Chuck and Sam and Eric and Tom and Bill, they are not about to pick up those pieces for y'all. I keep trying to tell y'all this. I'm gonna tell y'all this till I'm blue in the face. Telling you, bro. So you better hey, pick your side and stay there, okay? Because you're not about to get a second chance at it.
Yeah, you
Marty, you
think
was
that
breaking up.
somebody you think that somebody is supposed to care about your backstory and why you was hoeing. Like nobody cares. You don't care why a man who makes $30,000 a year is broke. You don't care why a man is 5'6". You're not looking up his genealogy to try to figure out why he's short. You don't give a shit about why do you expect for men to try to dig into your backstory to figure out why you was hoeing. We don't care. A man who has taken the time to put his life together, okay? He was fantasizing about something too. I know it's hard for y'all ladies to understand this, but we're fucking people too. And when I was in the office working my nuts off to become something, I was fantasizing about a life that I was going to have too. And it wasn't about kissing your ass. It wasn't about just being able to spoil you and then give you zero accountability so I could fucking baby you until you old. That's not what we wanted. Help. Men want help. Men want somebody who's going to be something in their life. And if they're willing to settle for a trophy wife, meaning a woman that's just beautiful and nothing else, then you need to be viciously loyal and a complete slut in bed. That's what we're looking for. And then at some point, we want you to be able to step into the queen role and run some shit when we're not at home. We need somebody with a brain still. So a lot of you ladies have been sold a love story about how people owe you understanding because you think that you're the main character in other people's lives, and you're not. You're not the main character in anybody else's life. So if you fuck yourself up and destroy your value, then you will pay the cost for that. And that's what you're watching happen. You're watching a whole bunch of women be single as hell with multiple baby daddies who can't find a man, who get online and talk about how black men ain't shit. Because even though we marry more single mothers than any other race of men, it still ain't enough. It still ain't enough. So that's why dudes you got people like Austin Holloman and all of these dudes, they just leaving the country. They're not trying to convince you anymore to submit. They're not trying to convince you anymore to try to be fair. They're not trying to convince you anymore to not be hoes. Think about this body count argument. You're arguing to be a 304. Like, that's your argument. Your argument is that I should be able to fuck whoever I want, whenever I want, however I want. And that should have absolutely nothing to do with how you look at me as a person. And then you say, okay, so if you got a guy who's slaying 10 different chicks at the same time, you think that's fine? You think that he should be able to do that and you want that man as a husband and father of your children? Well, no. Okay, so you want to flip the standard where now you want men's body count to matter and yours don't. Okay, fine. No problem, baby. Find a man who's willing to agree with that. Find a man who's willing to agree with this matriarchal back to Africa bullshit that you hear people talking about on TikTok, where we used to be matriarchal and the women used to lead. Find the husbands that are protector provider men who want that. Good luck. I'm not arguing with you about it anymore. Good luck. Good luck. Because there's so few men now who want to marry at all. And I preach a message of marriage to men. I'm trying to tell these men to build their values so they can be good husbands for you. And what I'm hearing from women is, I want to be a hoe. My body count doesn't matter. My history doesn't matter. You need to pay for everything. You need to do this. You need to do that. You need to understand my trauma. And even though I'm the one that's losing my temper all the time, yelling, screaming, cussing, fighting, calling the cops, this, that, and the other, your emotional intelligence is low, black man. Even though I got 3 kids by 3 different men and none of them wanted me, and I don't have a meaningful, healthy co-parenting relationship with any of them, your emotional intelligence is low. Because when I'm talking this bullshit, you're not buying it. Fuck out of here. No problem, sugar tits. Good luck in these streets. Good luck. Good luck with that. Find a man that's willing, that has put himself together, that wants to deal with that. I wish you the very best.
Me too.
And what I tell guys to do is build your value. Do what you need to do as men, okay? And then pick from the women who want you. Pick the woman with traditional values. Marry her and give her your all. Be a good man to her. And if the advice that the average black woman is giving to other black women is to not fit that mold at all, and conditional femininity and conditional submission and 50-50 because ain't nobody telling me what to do and submission is a bad word, no problem. And then, you gonna marry out as if Arab men are less patriarchal than black men, as if Indian or Asian men or white men are gonna put up with more of your shit than a black dude is, when he was raised by somebody teaching him to take this shit and he won't take it. And you think you're gonna find an Asian man that's gonna bring you home to his mama while you talking out of turn? Or an Arab man? Like, they slap the shit out they women. They're not playing. So good luck. Good luck. You know? All I can do is tell you what I know is right. Try to help you. And if you don't want the help because it sounds too much like oppression and accountability sounds too much like bashing and all of this shit because you're too sensitive for somebody to fucking tell you the truth,
Right.
unless they can say it in the secret alien language that doesn't offend you, then I don't give a shit. That's on you, babe.
Right.
Because you're the one that's got to live with your outcomes.
Right. Marty, listen, ladies and gentlemen, listen, guys, I need to see some claps in the chat, please, before we move forward. That is my business partner, Marty. Shout out to Marty, man. Marty and I need to see some claps in the chat. I need to see some prayer hands in the chat. I need to see some fire emojis in the chat before we move forward. This is my business partner, Marty. Y'all are going to see more content of Marty and myself in the future. There's some other women that, y'all are going to be seeing us do some content as well. Shout out to Black Guru. We tapped in with each other recently. In the words of Black Guru, a lot of y'all are doomed. 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 Okay. Marty, thank you so much, brother. It's always love. We're gonna tap in with each other. You're driving right now. I don't want you to get banned. Thank you so much, brother.
Yeah, I'm parked now, but I just want to say this in closing.
All right.
Okay? Like, I know that this shit is hard to hear, and I know it sounds like maybe you think I'm mad at you. Let me tell you something. I'm happy. I got somebody good in my life. I'm trying to help you because what I've realized by going through TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, talking to women, y'all are completely out of touch with reality.
Delusional.
And you're getting, and I'm not saying that as an insult. I'm saying it as an assessment of the truth, because you can't correct your behavior unless somebody tells you you're fucking up. And so now, at least you can't say nobody told you. And after I say what I say, at least you can't say nobody told me this, and that's why I fucked it all up. They told me that. Now you can say somebody told me the truth. I didn't know it when I saw it, and I got these outcomes. I was able to course correct before I had the kid. You know what I'm saying? Y'all need to stop worrying about getting flown out. Okay? Men who want wives are not flying them out. Men who want wives are flying out of the country. And you're calling them lame and trying to equate what they're doing to sex tourism so you don't have to deal with the fact that men who can afford to move their lives to another country will prefer to try to deal with possibly getting hustled there than definitely getting hustled here. That's the reality. So I'm not telling you this to try to bring you low, right? It's not that I'm bringing you low. I'm level setting you. This is what reality is. The reason that you feel like you're being brought low is because you're living in a fucking fantasy and you think that's okay. And it's not okay because you can't win there, baby. And I need as many of my sisters to win as possible. If you want to be married, I need you to have a man who's got some sense. I need you to have a man that's at least trying to make a fucking long-term commitment to you before you give him a child. And I need that child raised with you at your best and him at his best, and y'all in a state of cooperation. So that's what I'm talking to you about. I'm trying to get you there, right? I'm not trying to diminish you or bring you low, but I can't stroke your ego. Which is your problem? I'm a queen. I'm a goddess. These grandiose concepts, these narcissistic, grandiose concepts you have of who you are. Try being a fucking wife first. Try being a wife. You try being that before you become a goddess or a queen. And if you are a goddess or a queen, what do you owe to the people that are underneath you? Do you not owe anything, or do goddesses and queens just satisfy themselves? Do they just sit at a crown or sit on a throne with a whole bunch of butt-naked men feeding them grapes and shit? Is that what you think? You don't think there's no responsibility involved with these titles you fucking give yourself except getting dicked down by 10 different guys and accepting free gifts and playing yourself? Is that what you think being a queen is? You don't owe nobody but yourself? Then you're a tyrant queen. So let's just get real for a second so you can get some of the shit you want out of life. Because the lives you're living right now, I'm in the same community as you. No matter how high I ascend, it doesn't matter. I'm still in the same community as you. You still belong to me. And you're a representation of me. And I'm a representation of you. So somebody's got to love you enough to try to tell you the truth that ain't trying to put some dick in you. There you go.
Ladies and gentlemen, that is thank you, Marty. Thank you, Marty. Have a good day, brother. We'll be in touch.